Probably yeah.
All right, quick adjustments already. We can see second ban down there. It's not going to be casted in again. compLexity were confident enough to first pick it. That means you need to get it off the table.
Generally speaking, yeah. The Aatrox still being banned away as well from Westrice, so that is another top lane. Aatrox getting dropped away. Actually, I can't say it's Westrice necessarily. I don't remember if it's his or Heaven Times, but either way, the same ban coming through. And also the Renekton dropped away for compLexity, so that's going to free up a lot more options for them.
So 2 changes here. Getting Mega Zero. That is one of his favorite champions, by the way. We always talk about the Riven, but Renekton's right up there with that. That's who he would go to when they were in the LCS, and Riven's banned. That's who he would go for his second pick.
All right, so 3 seconds left for compLexity to make their last ban, realizing that, well, you can't play Renekton against anything now, so that might eliminate some of the options. And they kill off the Zyra. Even though MAA played it last time, they want to kill this and not let Metis remain on the champion.
So maybe they're thinking dive composition here from compLexity. They don't want to have to deal with that disengage from Zyra.
That could be definitely an option here. The strategic bans, we don't see them a lot, I would say, from what I've seen. Is usually bans tend to be like target bans at a player to get rid of the champion pool, or like just, oh, well, they're blue team and it's Zach, I'm going to remove this. So I like seeing different types of bans come through.
They did. That means that they left open the Gragas. So if they really felt that that was a huge threat from Arthalon, TBD can actually capitalize on that now, since I don't feel like Prawley is going to, first or second pick that one.
Here we go. More options coming through. And, of course, the heavy assassination potential. One of them gets removed here. Zed being picked up right off the bat by compLexity. The Thresh coming through as well. So they've got a support, and they got their first pick of one as well.
Now, if you've been watching League of Legends all day long and all night long, then you may have seen some spectacular Zed play already over in OGN. Faker really made it look good. And that was Zed on Zed, too. That's not easy to do. We'll have to see if Prawley can have the same effect here. Mega Zero could also actually take that one too. He's not much, he's a little bit more towards the tankier types for the top lane. Not always going with those assassins, whereas Westrice will definitely favor that type.
And well, here we go. The next picks have come through, though. It's going to be the Jungle Naz, who's also taken away. That's not now given to Lauda Mortis. So extra pushing power available. And also, of course, the Lulu coming back through. So the repeat pick here by Lulu. Yeah, and 3 picks already from TBD. They're making adjustments all over the place. Not going to have a repeat game here from compLexity. Well, let's see what these guys can bring up now for the rest of their line. Of course, Tristana's still available. They've already got their Thresh locked in, of course. Lulu's a pretty good laner, so maybe he'll try to hide from the 2v1. We'll see what happens. Of course, still 25 seconds to make their choices. And yeah, it's a different lineup completely from compLexity as well. So I want to see what ends up happening here. As we said, the Zed coming in for assassination, the Zyra potentially banned away from the disengage. And it looks like it's going to be more engage coming through as well, with Ezreal and Zac being locked in.
Zac gets pretty deep down here. Definitely a very highly prized champion at the moment. Yeah. So tanky, so good for diving. They already have a very strong split pusher, though. It's very interesting meld. They're just picking the very strong champions, basically.
Yeah, they'll have at least a good team fight.
Well, who was it? It was a Diamond with the Z mistake. You don't ban Zed, you don't ban Zac, then you're going to be punished if you're in EU.
Just ban Zyra.
Right here, compLexity have both Zed and Zac, 2 of the most popular at the time.
But it's time for the last couple of picks to come through, and some similarities here for TBD. Yeah, we'll see if they go for it. Of course, Robert X. Lee still to choose his AD carry. Will be laning with a Lulu. And now they know they're fighting against Thresh Ezreal. Not the crazy strongest lane, so they could get away with Vayne here pretty easily. And I want to see if he goes for that West.
Now, they are hovering over it. People may be thinking this is a joke, but they could have easily support Elise or mid lane Elise. Arthalon also plays Lulu mid, like some of the other challengers. So it could be a mid Lulu. It's either mid Lulu or mid Elise. The jungle's probably going to be that Nasus. It's definitely not a Westrice champion. So if someone was going to play it, it wouldn't be him. He's all about the assassins, like we said. The main one that he was originally known for, even back in Season 1, is the Akali. So this is classic Westrice right here. Basically, he's putting his reputation on the line now.
Yeah, well, you're down 0-1. What are you going to do except for play with one of your most favorite champions? Absolutely. That's how you bring that out. It's sort of it looks like what Dignitas did even in their game too win over Curse, where it's like, guys, let's just play what we know we're really, really good at. Everyone play your favorite champion. And it worked out really well for these guys. Now compLexity to make their last couple of options, and honestly, it's still an ambiguous lineup. We've seen Zac, we've seen Zed jungle, we've seen Zac and Zed go top lane, and now looking for Latimortis to make his last choice. This might just be the jungle Amumu to round things out. Heavy engage, a lot of area of effect, and then a Zed to chop things up in the back line.
So Zed is going to be looking at the Vayne here, where Amumu can control Akali even if she's invisible in the Shroud. You can lock her up there. Great answer to the Assassins. I do like this compLexity team, though. They have so much crowd control along with the single target assassination from Zed. And then Chuper's on an AD carry where he can be safe in the back line there. And he's got so much of a beefy tank line to work around. Even though Jat was saying, you know, he's maybe the weak spot on that team, he'll be fine here with Ezreal and that strong of a tank line plus Thresh. There's so many answers for him to get out of trouble.
I'm wondering how scary it is, though, like, just with all the Akali leaps, like, can Westray just pin him down anyway? Like, with Hell, like, he jumps on you, but you take a lantern, you can peace out. Akali jumps on you, take a lantern, and then she jumps on you again, and then your Arcade Shift, she jumps on you again, and you're just like, well, come on, Westray, give it up.
That's why I really like the last pick, Amumu, here, because if he gets anywhere close to him, lay down the Curse of the Sad Moment. That's stopping everybody in their tracks. Follow that up with Bandage Toss. Amumu's great at peeling. He doesn't have to be that Flash Initiate that people always think of when they think of Amumu.
That's true. All right, that could be interesting. We'll see what sort of roles the players play here. It's going to be peel or just diving on in. We're going to get ourselves into Game 2 of the Challenger Semifinals between compLexity and To Be Determined. compLexity up 1-0. Very nice team comp coming through. And just to point out what happened with TBD is, of course, it is West Akali. It is that jungle Nasus. It is actually going to be Lulu on support for Netis Remain, and it's sort of a mid-Elise for Arthalon, though we did kind of play a side lane last time.
Yeah, and they could do another swap as well, because Akali does well in the mid lane. Westrise very at home in the short lane as well.
It could be a very great match. Of course, we're getting ourselves into the game right here. The game has come out. Blue side, it's going to be TBD. Red side, compLexity. compLexity again up 1-0. TBD needs to make it happen right now in this best of 3.
Heading out strong here. Probably does start with the red elixir, as many Zeds do, looking for the very early pressure. He can have kill potential on either Akali or even Elise.
Absolutely, man. There's a lot of damage output available for this team. I mean, just like it's a bunch of assassins in general. You've got Akali diving in, you've got Elise diving in, you've got Vayne diving in. And then, of course, on the other side, you've got the Zeds. So explosive things in this game.
Looks like we won't have too much action in the early game, though. compLexity aware of the dances in mid, but they've been spotted as well.
Yeah, compLexity is the one team being a little bit tricky, but yeah, because of that ward, as you said, there's not much they're going to probably accomplish here. Heaventime and Nidus also walking through a ward themselves. Nidus will ward off that side.
This is basically the start that we see in 80% of our games.
Yeah.
Both teams warding red side, also aware of the invade here from compLexity. Robert actually going to have to back off as well.
He did spot that ward coming down, actually. So that was an interesting ward. That ward, by the way, is not spotted by the turret, but will kind of help you see where the dual lane might go. But Robert saw that get placed down. It hadn't stealthed by the time he walked across, so he had pinged that. So if TBD wants to mind game this, they could potentially like reveal, then recall, and go somewhere else and not give something away. But either way, they know that this route will be spotted.
I'm thinking that they want the Mega Zero Westrise matchup. Assassins have a hard time against Zac because if you assassinate him, then you're going to have to spend extra time cleaning up all the bloblets, and that buys time for your jungler to come and answer. But it looks like it is going to be Westrise switching to the mid lane here, so he's going to fight Probably ninja on ninja.
This could be a very fun matchup. This is almost lore-based. I mean, not as much as Shen versus Zed, but certainly still some bad blood between these two. Heaventime clearing out the rest of his blue buff. It's going to be easy pickup there for that Nasus. And Mega Zero going to make his way very belatedly to this top lane. The same from Arthalon. So pretty standard lanes for the most part here. The 2-on-2 is here. So Robert actually putting out some pain. MIA taking a bit of poke. And Mega Zero already getting jumped on by Arthalon.
I do like Robert Exley in the 2 versus 2 matchup, even on Vayne, with Lulu supporting him as a fairly poke-heavy support. He's going to be fine in this early. And then when you're able to trade fine with Vayne in the early game, a CS, then it always looks good for the late game.
Absolutely. So this is going to be a lane we're going to have to watch for here to see how big Robert Exley gets. He said in the preview he might just be the best AD carry in the challenger scene, but already getting poked around down to about 2/3 health. Good Mystic shots coming out from Chuper, but it's still 8-8 minions.
So the reason why I do like him so much in this 2vs2 matchup is because most of complexity's harass and even kill potential is skill shot based. And Vayne, if he can use the tumble.
Exhaust comes off on a Chuper. Robert actually gets the stun as well, so there's no follow-up now onto Nidus. MAA down to half HP, but the trade comes back. Robert has to barrier, 120 health left on him. One shot to go. Heaven Time comes to support, and that's a complexity win.
All right, well, MIA, make me eat my words right there. He gets the Flay in first to start that one off, and the early advantage goes to complexity down bottom. But with the jungler near, they won't have to worry too much about shoving into the turret.
The turret will survive for now. Arthlon, though, actually the one pushing on the top side. Ledamortis a little bit low on health, but lurking around in the shadows as well. And they might just be able to put some pressure onto this Elise. Ledamortis showing up, lands the stun, and the Let's Bounce comes across. Not Let's Bounce, but the slingshot. Arthlon so low, forced to repel up into the air. He goes off to the right-hand side near the minion wave. And that might not be enough for Complexity to pick up. Mega Zero on the chase. Ledamortis will sweep up the minions.
They have wards through the red side jungle, so Arthlon can plan out his path. Looks like he's cornered himself, though. He's going down.
He's definitely spotted by that turret. Lands a stun on a Mega Zero. It tries to walk off to the right-hand side. That will be XP given to Mega Zero, but not first blood gold. So making the best of a bad situation is Arthlon.
After those 10 seconds. And he just barely got it there, too.
Good escape. Now Robert X. Lee has recalled back, picked up a couple of potions, but wasn't rich enough to buy any real items, and is now sitting here trying to catch up in this bottom lane. 14-19. That minion score. And of course, Chuper, the second Doran's Blade, can have an even easier lane here.
Robert actually has come back and caught up in minion kills after that early aggression, but they've also built up a giant minion wave, which is going to be fairly easy for Chuper to clean up. So he is going to pull back ahead here pretty soon. And the ganks from Nasus early, not going to have the from Amumu, even though they are both fairly tanky champions towards the end game there. Amumu definitely has the early game advantage as far as ganks are concerned because he has the hard CC that also comes as a gap closer.
I was going to say, it was weird to see like Nasus show up and it's like, hey, me and Akali, we're going to... Nice, Robert. That was
and
really
he
nice.
dodges it. So that's what I was going for with the Vayne having success in a Thresh Ezreal matchup, because if he can tumble, he can dodge all the harass and kill potential from this complexity dual lane. But it was Nidus or Main who got caught by the Flay and then the combo, which forced Robert in.
Well, as we've seen before with duo lane, sometimes one will just jump in front of the other and tank the bullet. Yeah. So hopefully Robert and Nidus are going to be a little bit more coordinated in this one. Tumble away! Die, Lulu. If you hate Yordles, you might tumble away from the hook. Mega Zero, though, still up in that 1v1 lane. But 18-29, Arthlon is well ahead of Mega. Now, part of this was the wave getting pushed, and Ledamortis took all that farm. But even still, you can see Arthlon, level 5 to level 5, right, had pushed Mega back. There's a decent lead here for the Elise.
Well, that's a really good point. The timing of the gank, a huge wave at turret, because Mega Zero went to chase Arthlon to try and get the kill, he lost out on so much of the experience there that the experience he gained from being in range of the turret kill actually pretty much balanced out. So mainly he lost a lot of money there.
And we'll see if that lane can get even better for Arthlon's Elise as that matchup continues. Ledamortis spending a lot of time up here, though really wants to get Zac started. A bit of slow coming across. He might keep moving on in. There's the W.
No
Amumu's coming in from the side. Great stun by Arthlon. Will he repel? He will not. And here comes the rest of the pushing. Ledamortis, can he go for this? No, not going to go for anything else here. Saved the Q. He had it up and decided it wasn't worth chasing down. So no successful gank here.
Does clear out the ward now, this time with the pink one up top. And Arthlon is going to have to go back and buy a pink of his own if he wants to place it in the same bush. If he goes with that tri-bush, then they're going to have Westrise do his part. You know, warding is a team game. You have to ward both of the entrances to that topside jungle.
Ledamortis level 6, goes for the jump, flashes in. There's the pink ward as well. Westrise taking so much pain. Will it be enough though? Ledamortis gets first blood and traded back by Prawley. Prawley forcing one away by Heaven Time, but that might just be good enough. Pops his ult. Robert X. Lee, though, getting jumped on, has to barrier one more time. Good Chuper land, one more Q. There's a lantern coming down in case they wanted it. No true shot barrage available though. Level 5 and 4 only, so Robert gets out. But there's a Zed coming around the shadows in the brush.
Oh, he does not check the bush. Wrong bush.
But Prawley is still behind Nidus, and that Lulu has nowhere to go. Use taunt. Prawley, use taunt. Use taunt, use taunt. I dare you. No, jumps in, still gets hexed though. Nidus! It's gonna get up Chuper. Oh, has to barrier away. It's gonna time out.
Able to answer back one kill. Really good job right there. Nice flash from Lulu. And because Zed roamed down bottom, Heaven Time took the opportunity to shove that mid lane, and they at least got one wave into the turret.
Wow, so 2-0 on Probably Zed, who he's doing pretty all right. But the 1-0 Bloodthirsty Lulu, the first blood going to West Rice. This is a much better start here for TBD. Only down 200 gold this time. Much better than last time, I suppose. Arthlon still in this trade with Mega, and Heaven Time now, unfortunately standing on a ward. Is not going to get too much out of that one.
The wards are going to be very important for both of these mid laners because both of them want to roam up or down, either lane, to grab their kills. And Westrice has done his part. He's gotten that one single ward for the topside jungle, so he can actually answer Prawley, but Prawley has not placed his pink yet, so he could try and one-up him.
No, but there's a pink ward over the Dragon right now, and the team of compLexity are pushing in for it. It looks like the bottom lane of TBD smells this out. Yep, there we go. The ward comes down, gets cleared out right away, and there's still no real collapse coming in. Westwind's not coming down, so this is going to be compLexity's Dragon picked up at pretty little cost. Just they had the timing right, they had the map control. The pink ward was enough for them to help guarantee it. So good pickup there, compLexity Dragons 1-0.
All right, second game in a row, they do get the first Dragon. Even though the kills this time around going even, they are focusing on those objectives, and they get the early lead there.
And now let's see what TBD's choice is. Again, they have that first blood Akali. He tended to carry them a little bit through the MLG tournament. I want to see if this happens again here as well. Robert X. Lee in an okay situation. The dive on a Mega Zero, though, repelled back up from Arthlon, just says, you know what, I'm going to trade with you, and then back out. Goes again for the Ignite. Mega might just get low enough. One tick left. He's going to survive.
Able to get out of that one. No cell division popped. Arthlon, though, does have free reign on this turret. Loudamortis can get poked under the turret here, so he doesn't have that effective of wave clear. He doesn't want to take too much damage, and Arthlon is free to auto-attack it.
And probably, though, on the roam, but he's on top of a ward right here. And to the top lane, by the way, we've seen the jungler show up so much. The top lane got re-pink warded by TBD. So the main river entrance, actually, the vision's controlled by the blue team.
Yeah, but if Prawley had gotten that close that these top wards would see him, Arthlon would have been in trouble because Loudamortis has both his ult and his mana shot. So it is that ward that I talked about Westrice buying that just saved Arthlon's life right there.
Absolutely great job. Teamwork through and through. The power of love might just be there for compLexity, but the power of teamwork is clearly nearly as strong in keeping TBD in this game. Not much of a goal lead. Only 700 separates these teams. That is not a big deal at this stage of the game whatsoever. So Mega Zero just still trying to hold on to his top lane right there. Early Spectre's COL is trying to get some magic resistance, survive against the Arthlon poke.
Big surprise, Zach's building Spirit Visage.
No, against a magic damage top laner? No, I don't believe you. I think that's a misclick. He wanted Sunfire first.
Like we said, Loudamortis has both his ult and his bandage shots available, so that's a very potent gank. As soon as a flash comes up, that's almost a guaranteed gank.
Oh, and the re-pink ward comes out from Mega Zero, and the fight as well against Arthlon. Arthlon clearly wins that battle. Mega's like, I don't, okay, let's bounce, but I don't have any teammates nearby. Arthlon, though, actually getting pushed away just enough. I guess, to be fair, these Spiderlings die a lot faster now to AoE abilities, which Zach is all about. So, interestingly, Mega Zero managed to get rid of those and get a little bit of gold for each one.
Arthlon's spending a lot of money on those wards to keep himself safe, by the way. There it is, Chris Sad Mummy.
And that has remained down to 120, and that's a kill picked up by Chuper. Very well played. compLexity making that gank happen. Loudamortis, the ultimates, he's found kills with them twice now. That's pretty well played.
Yeah, so Loudamortis doing a good job visiting that bottom lane, but look at the CS. Even with the early wins. Oh, Robert!
Oh, he got him! He didn't hook out of the way at all. Robert is down to 200 health, and goodbye, MIA taking the secure right there. That is unfortunate.
Oh, Robert was stone cold. He wanted to play that game of chicken. Thought the blue pill was gonna take him to safety.
Now he got turned into a fillet in that game of chicken. Now Mega Zero not in a very good spot. 500 health, getting jumped on. Getting a thumbs up from Kobe for that joke. And Mega Zero still cutting around the turret, but Arthlon's going to split him into little bloblets. And now Heaven Time can show back up, and bloblets don't pull turret aggro. Oh, they do. I'm wrong. I'm just terribly stupid. And that's going to be the kill picked up there by TBD. Nice job.
All right, so they're able to finish it off. But look at this push down bottom. After the successful gank, they're not stopping at the first turret, going for two.
And this is a great push by compLexity. It's going to... So you trade one kill for one kill? Well, we're going to trade two turrets for one. Actually, no. The defense here coming in by Robert X. Lee and Knight is well played. Now, probably, putting some damage in that turret, but there's not enough minions for him.
All right, so Westrice with the roam. Actually, he did go down. Another death on Westrice. He's able to get now his spell van. Yeah, so let's take a look at the death from Westrice. There's the all-in. Probably's able to burst him, and since the death mark plus ignite is on him.
Oh, the turret shot.
One more turret shot from. Wow, where's it going?
He wants to get him.
What's gonna happen?
Oh! Same as a true shot barrage.
Probably knew that was coming a mile away. Westrice, we talked about his aggressive nature.
Yep.
Yeah, he's got balls of steel. He wanted to go for that one. The best he could hope for that, too, was a one-for-one trade.
Yeah.
So even if Westrice is looking at one-for-one trade, he'll still want to go for it. That's how bloodthirsty he is.
He flashed for it, too. He was like, all right, we can both get out, but I'm going to flash for a one-for-one. That man only wants kills. Probably clearing away the minions. His turret's in pretty good shape. 5-3 the kill score here. Now a bit more of a lead for compLexity. Stun lands on a Trooper. This is pretty good for Arthlon. Force the Arcane shift out, and he's still going in. Will he wait out the barrier? Flayed backwards, flashes forward. Trooper, the Q lands. Arthlon making that one happen.
Now they're 3 deep in the turret.
Oh my god, Lattimore pops the ulti. It's in range of the turret, and the damage comes across from Probably. Nidus remain getting low. Robinson picks up one, but falls down, and Nidus has nowhere to go, but Heaven Time is here. Nidus survives with the flash. Lattimore flashes as well. His Spanish toss is used and picks up another kill, but here is Arthlon and Heaven Time. Lattimore does not have anywhere to really go. Lands the Q, Heaven Time. Where's the Wither? Coming up soon. But Probably coming back, and Westrice coming back. This battle is still going on.
Very delayed roam from Westrice here. He did do a whole nother wave up there, but now they're looking to corner them under the turret.
Heaven Time tanks turret aggro, and Probably goes down. Lattimore will look for Arthlon, but will not do enough damage. No. Double kill for Westrice, 3-2-0.
Heaven Time did a great job there too, not panicking, staying in to tank that turret, allowing Arthlon to continue to DPS with full confidence that he could live through it. Amumu's damage very predictable there, and with him not having to worry about the tower, it was fine.
Nice run, the true shot barrage does not catch Arthlon.
That was right between the goalposts there.
3-pointer.
No.
Well, I mean not 3-pointer, but 3 points.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean,
good enough.
0-1.
All right, Robert going up to clean up the top lane minions up here. And he actually has a decent time against Mega Zero, since Mega's been building the Spirit Visage here and hasn't completed it yet.
No, not yet, but he's getting closer. Actually, I want to look at his gold. He's at 900. He's sitting at 900 complete Spirit Visage at this point.
Robert rushed the Blade of the Ruin King, though. He doesn't even have boots right now, but even with the active bonus for speed, he has great dueling potential.
Definitely does. What? Vayne, there we go. I was like saying Zed and Vayne at the same time. Vayne pretty scary with that item, absolutely. Worgen cleared out by compLexity, and here comes the control attempt. Of course,
they're going to be too slow.
They're nearby. The ward's going to cleared out.
Oh, he got
it! Stolen! Heaven Time gets the smite, the pull back onto the Nasus. He's going to go down for his troubles, but that might just be enough.
He's still alive!
Oh my god, he actually doesn't die. What? Westrice picks up one. The battle's still going. Westrice is low. Pink Ward, of course, still down with these guys. Double kill for Westrice. This is amazing for TBD. The flash away by MAA. Mega Zero forced to run. He's still on the chase, and it's a stun onto MAA. Mega Zero forced to run back from this one. A 3-for-1 so far. Trooper dueling Robert.
He sidestepped the Mystic Shot.
It's not great. Trooper's still trying. The shield's coming back out. There's the barrier. Heaven Time picks up the kill. Mega Zero, the only surviving member. Beautiful fight by TBD.
What a beautiful fight. Oh my god. They got the Dragon Steel. Heaven Time with the flash into the wall. Sacrifices his forehead to grab the dragon with smite, and then he doesn't even go down after this one. Westrice able to get back in, pull out the aggression, and grab 2 kills for himself. Even with the death mark on him, he'll end up going down, but it was worth it in the end. We talked about the Blade of the Ruin King as well on Robert X. Lee. He's able to get the slow here on MII just before he flashes over, and the ward in Tribush is how Arthlon gets that beautiful cocoon off around Zac, going for the target that won't be able to leap away. Robert X. Lee down here with Super. That one Mystic Shot he did dodge didn't end up making that big of a difference because he popped the barrier anyway, but they definitely just took this game by the horns.
Super incredible by these guys. Now a 2,000 gold lead. Blue buff going up as well. Happily controlled here. compLexity now saying, all right, we've got to level a little bit harder, guys. We need to turn this one back around. Trooper 1-3-3. Starting to stack up that Manamune. Got the Vamp Scepter as well. Starting to scale up, but he's not nearly as scary right now as the Blade of the Ruin King Vayne. Right now, Robert X. Lee having so much more control over this game. And to note, Westrice now on a Akali, 5-3-1. Hextech Gunblade done. Yep. Sork Shoes almost got a Zonia's. Crazy scary Akali.
He's got amazing chase potential right now with the 3 charges of his ultimate and the slow from that Hex Tech Gunblade. Whereas Zed here probably has gone with the Hex Trinker for the extra magic resist, since it is a dual magic team here from TBD. And he has delayed the completion of his Blade of the Ruin King.
Yeah, so you're right. By delaying that, really his offense does go down. I'm hoping for his sake that it doesn't hurt him too much in the end.
He wants another dive. You can tell. He smells it.
MA is actually hiding in the shadows, though. He's actually not spotted while this happens. So this is going to be like interesting, like, make West Race fight you, but win anyway.
Now, to pull this off, TBD actually needs to clear out the jungle wards first. They really desperately want to make use of this Oracles here. There we go. They've got a pink ward from Prawley that's actually going to counter that vision. They know this is really where the battle line has been drawn, is in the Lizard buff side here of the red team. Control of that jungle is actually going to determine the next couple minutes of this game.
Let's see who takes control over it better right now, because so far it is compLexity who owns their jungle. Just a little bit more, but that side towards the Baron, that brush right here, the tri-bush for Arthlon, the one right over to the right-hand side of Baron, those are controlled by TBD and haven't been swept out at all by compLexity. So this could be a little bit scary for these guys. Both going over towards Prawley. Nice little lantern pulling him over and grabbing souls. And Robert still on the split, 126 minions for him. And looks like that Vayne will still continue to grow. And Vayne's getting more far. Good thing for compLexity.
Vayne is actually a good answer for Zed. If he can keep up in money, it's a great answer to that split push, because Vayne is one of the few champions in the game that can duel Zed and come away with the win, especially if he's able to get a Quicksilver Sash, you know, as a second item, which is pretty rare. He would be able to benefit from that greatly, because look at the CC that this team has for compLexity.
Oh, yeah.
Robert would love to have an out.
Absolutely. So we'll see if Robert can do anything with that. Of course, he did go barrier, so doesn't have it innately in this game. But Knight is sweeping away wards still. And pink wards, of course, those actually cost you money. Like, normally the wards you clear out, well, that might have been a Sightstone ward, so, you know, but he's actually hurting the money of compLexity with every pink ward that he kills via that Oracles. Of course, both supports sitting on a Philosopher's Stone as well, getting a little bit more gold over time. And that'll help him fund more of that vision game. We'll see how that pans out over time as well. Robert still, though, by himself, still playing that farm game, still scaling up. And I want to see what he goes for next, because I think Zeal is likely. He's got 1,200 gold. He could buy it right now if he wanted to, actually. And he actually recalls back.
Doesn't look like he's that confident in his dueling potential right now either. Doesn't want to overextend. They need wards on both sides of the jungle if he wants to go up there. And Zed does still have the potential to burst him down. Vayne has so many answers for Zed, though. The tumble as well as knockbacks.
Yeah, and the stealth, yeah, she's pretty incredible at dueling, especially against assassins. So, and the thing is, probably does have backup at least. If they do get the wards, they've been buying pink wards in team fights because of Vayne and Akali. They've been bringing them every time to look for these guys. And probably does have a dive buddy. He's got Mega Zero to show up as well. Until the QSS, they have at least the Amumu ultimate as well. There's up to that point, there's actually pretty good team fight prowess.
Well, they've actually they're looking to pick off Robert here, but he does have some amazing game sense. we'll say.
So much game sense, he's got game dollars.
I'll let them handle that one. All right, so this is actually going to be a 2 versus 1 push up top, and compLexity are the ones looking for the tower pressure, even though they didn't send any ranged characters up top. Just the kill potential that Zach and Zed have against Vayne force Robert back off, and they're able to get that turret without any fight.
Yeah, it's really well played. compLexity, despite losing the last fight, have managed to stop all the bleeding. They've equalized the turrets now 2-2, but now here comes the interesting thing. TBD in control are starting up on the Dragon. They've got the Oracles, they've got some ward coverage as well. compLexity all piling on the left-hand side of the map. They're going for a counter turret for this Dragon.
Well, the entire top side of this map is dark as well. Both teams without wards on either side of the jungle up top here, so it's dangerous for either of them to even go through.
And look at this, Prawley's actually staying back as wave clear, and MAA is holding back as support to support him, oddly enough, to keep him from dying if the team goes for a dive. So compLexity actually don't get enough damage on that turret, though. The mid lane under fire, but here's Heaven time to wave.
Neither of these pushes really had much commitment to them because of that lack of wards that we talked about. And even the blue buff, he goes for the steal, but the small lizards are in the way.
Well done, then Arthlon is going to grab that for himself. MAA hooking over. Oh, didn't quite get
rejected.
Sorry.
Chuper does not get over the wall.
You are not Mad Life. It was a nice try though. That was cool. Like, just unfortunately, it didn't quite happen. So let's see. The red buff at least did go to Chuper. Robert X. Lee actually without a red buff. So you know, bit more slowing there for the Ezreal.
That was a comical Chuper blooper. I know he's not fond of that term, but
it's not even on him.
He smashed his head into the
MIA's
side of the wall.
Whatever. It's not even Chuper's fault. Whatever. AD carries make 0 mistakes. They are the superior type of player. We are perfect, every one of us.
All right, so now that Zed has completed the last Whisper plus Blade of the Rune King on top of his Hex Drinker, he does have that amazing damage that he can pull out in the 1v1 potential. That was a fairly weak two-shot barrage right there. May have gone through a few minions.
No one yelled "oh," so it wasn't very powerful.
Oh, they had to charge it up. It's like a spirit bomb.
Yeah, you have to yell. The louder you yell, the more powerful. Why do you think Ezra goes, ah? If you don't hear him, that's actually part of it.
Look at this. It's going to be a 4 versus... No, it's not. Westrise. Even Westrise is not going to go in? What? That's sad. Okay. They do see Zed down bottom, though, so they're going to definitely pressure this turret. At least get some damage on it here. Arthalon got 1 shot.
All right. It's going down ever so slowly. 50 more times, it'll fall.
Now, it's very dangerous for TBD to go for tower dives, even though they're a team that loves tower diving. Because of all that AoE CC we talked about from Loud and Mortis and Mega Zero. Not to mention the box from MIA. There's so many answers that compLexity have during a tower dive that TBD have sort of stalled out here. You know, their normal game plan of run a bunch of assassins and go for those pick kills and go for the tower dives is really countered by this very heavy tank line that compLexity are running here. And compLexity really, they're hoping to just make use of that stall time to let Prawley feed up on some side lane minions to get to that point where he can even out-duel a Vayne.
And just to kind of readdress your point about sort of the ability to dive in because of all those tanks and whatnot, I think even compared to last game as well, TBD is still without a hard engaged sort of champion. They don't have a Zac or a Malphite or an Orianna. They actually don't dive turrets themselves even that well. Regardless, they're still looking for those offhanded kills, those 1v1s off on the side, the dragon fights where you don't have to dive in, you just have to battle people. And so while you're not seeing a lot of crazy pushes because TBD doesn't have the ability to even do that.
And we're going to see the half-hearted solo lane pushes here from both teams because of the lack of wards. Prawley doesn't want to push up past the river. Neither does Robert. So basically they just go clear the wave and then send them back to each other. We're trading minion waves between Vayne and Zed because neither one wants to fully commit.
Yeah, it's only really the dragons that are kind of pulling these teams off of the lanes right here. The turrets not pulling much right now. The mid lanes, of course, for both teams still holding up. The next push coming through for TBD, and they're actually looking for it a little bit. Arthalon, auto? Nope, no auto attacks. A little bit of minion damage, though. They're doing the dirty work.
Again, that's the threat of just that slingshot. All you have to do on Zac is get into your starting position with the slingshot,
hold
and
E.
people are scared to come within 1,500 range of you. Such a great zoning potential with that ability.
Gotta be good with this one to not fall over. Then the True Shot Barrage comes by. Chuper, and I guess for as much as this game is delaying, Chuper's getting to stack up his Manamune at that point. So he's up to 580 of 750. So he's more than 2/3 of the way there. Mega Zero forcing them back. He held E. He had to hide. And now they're back.
Flexing on
it's on cooldown.
Is Bo flexing? Oh, the hook does miss. Okay, so now they're actually looking for the fight. They don't see Robert X. Lee, and they are at least throwing out the stray hook.
Yeah, they're looking for some kind of pull. The 5-on-5 engage, definitely strong for compLexity.
Ladamortis is in that corner nook where he's outside of the
he's on a ward,
the fog of war.
He's directly on a ward, so they back right off. It was a great idea. But unfortunately, no vision control. Yeah.
He was on the bottom side.
Wait, was that? No, he was, I guarantee he was on top of a ward.
Okay.
If you're referring to Mega Zero at least.
No, Ladamortis.
Oh, then I missed that one. No, Ladamortis was hidden. Mega Zero, though, was Bowflex.
Hey, yo, they didn't go either way. Yeah, we do still have Robert X. Lee. He shoved the bottom lane, and this is that half-hearted solo lane pushes where both teams are content to scale up each of these characters. Vayne, amazing in the late game, and they have full confidence in Robert's ability to use that money. So the teams like, when we talk about teams like Fnatic funneling so much of their money and so many of their resources onto someone like Xpeke, it's because they have complete faith in his ability to make the most use of the items that money will buy. So he will have the very high impact because his team has the confidence in him to do that. Same thing here. TBD have the confidence in Robert's ability to use Vayne. There we go, the engage does happen.
And let's see if they get the damage out, but 2 pink wards coming down for compLexity to make sure they can find people. Westrice going to go down right away. MAA has survived so far, but Robert, he's going to be coming in soon. There we go. The battle still ensuing. The slow comes out from Robert, but you've got Probably off the right-hand side. Gets stunned up by Arthalon. They might go back in. Condemned does not stun. He has to flash over the wall. Arthalon taking damage, but still diving forward. Deathmark comes across, but repelled back. Arthalon is going to survive this one. Mega Zero getting pushed back, has the Bloblet still. Battle still continuing. Push back, MIA goes down. Loudamortis has nowhere to go. He's going to have to flash back as well. The chase still coming. Heaventime finds another kill. Probably forced back, and they're not going to die this one. But the team fight has been won by TBD.
Probably, why did you come in to flank? Yes, Zed is an assassin. They love coming in from the side to get to the squishy backline, but the turret was already there. Maybe he was too confident, having already taken down Westrice. Probably really put himself in a compromising position there and cost his team. Great job by TBD following up on that one. Vayne with amazing chase potential since Robert had already gotten that red buff during the half-hearted split pushing that was going on down bottom. Really good capitalization there on just a slight misposition from compLexity.
Absolutely greatly played there. TBD getting a turret out of it, finally breaking some of that siege game. And of course now the Dragon has respawned. They're rewarded with this as well. TBD really starting to build a lead right here, getting some extra durability on their tanks, getting some extra damage on the damage dealers. Dragon goes down. There we go. And now compLexity on a little bit of a chase. I don't know if they're going to go for this, though.
Well, in my infinite wisdom, I will say they do not want to go for it.
All right.
As they've already backed off. And TBD are continually going to return to this game plan. Because as we just showed right there, Robert actually is going to have a fun time. Westrice has Zhonya's now, though, so he's going to be fine in that matchup.
But there's Mega Zero with a pink ward. Westrice not a lot of places to go, but dashes another minion. It's going to be him getting out of range. But compLexity at least will get a turret for him. Well played by Westrice.
Classic Westrice juice right there. That's what I said when he would play his lane aggressive. He would just go deeper into enemy territory to get away.
And you can jump back to their minions.
Very, very beautiful play right there. And it helped that he was between turrets at the time, too, so that compLexity didn't want to fully commit.
Very nicely done. Turret does go down, so 3-3 on that one. But TBD controlling. They're up 4 kills. They've gotten, I believe, every dragon as well, thanks to that early steal. So TBD looking good. A 4,000 gold lead almost. Well, 3.5. There we go. And the red buff coming back. Probably gets his own blue, but jungle's being controlled. Loudamortis just getting exploded right there. He's going to go down. Arthalon gets the kill credit, and the push still continuing.
That's Arthalon going with that full spell penetration, Elise.
They're going to go for the fight. Anyway, MEI jumps right on in, but he's surrounded by the enemy team. Goes down in the middle of his box. Double kill now for Arthalon. He's going to get jumped on a bit by Probably. Some damage coming up there. Mega Zero looking for some CC. Heaventime still taking the turret. Arthalon does not go down. Great fight, TBD.
Another questionable engage there by compLexity. He landed the hook, and it's like Lee Sin. You don't have to go for every Q that lands.
Heaventime still taking some of that turret right there. Chuper about to get jumped right back on. Using the barrier. Westrice getting pushed back a little bit. Chuper still surviving for now, but goes down to Vayne. Robert actually double kill. Mega Zero's going to pop in a little Blowouts as well. It's going to be another kill picked up. Arthalon taking turret aggro. Has to repel back up. Heaventime survives. You got to be careful. They're well within the enemy turret range.
All right, so
you got Arthalon.
We talked about them loving for... Oh, there he goes!
Loudamortis looking for a little bit more. Can he get the damage he needs? Heaventime forced to run back. Westrice on the chase. Does not have anything left to do with this one.
Oh! A couple of hooks there looking for Westrice. But we talked about how TBD loved to go for the turret times and that they didn't want to do it because of the heavy crowd control, AoE crowd control that compLexity had. Because they took out the tank first before that dive, they were able to go for it without the threat of that Curse of the Sad Mummy. Able to capitalize very easily on that one. All right, so Probably's going to be the one. Look at that polymorph, not able to get off the combo onto Robert, and that was really the story of this whole thing. That's why they go 2 turrets deep to finish this one off. Westrice leading the way here. Always the one that wants to go very, very into enemy territory.
Incredible play by these guys, and now TBD rewarded pretty handsomely. The secondary mid turret, of course, did go down. Red buff grabbed by Robert, blue buff grabbed by Westrice. They've got pretty much everything on the map controlled. MEI working Oracle to try to get some of the map vision back, but this is looking all kinds of great for TBD here.
Ooh, after that, I would expect a Quicksilver Sash coming pretty soon here. There we go. Robert now has his answer for Frawley's all-in. Being able to cleanse off that basically half of the damage that he's going to do there with his Quicksilver Sash. or being able to save it if Probably goes for someone else, for something like the Curse of the Sad Mummy. Really, really opening up the game here for TBD, and that's why they were fine with trading minion waves back and forth, because that Quicksilver Sash is so important to Vayne that they don't care about a little extra damage going on to Probably.
So, there we go. Probably be right with this one. We can see the wards still being controlled, though, by TBD. They've got the Baron now for themselves. The wards go down. Baron available, and they're starting to take control over the jungle more and more. The Oracle's being warned by Nidus. He's going to spot this other pick ward. That's going to fall. More control. Heaven Time doing a good job of timing his Qs, making sure he gets the 3 extra damage on the Siphoning Strike every time. And of course, this time around, Heaven is actually maxing Wither second. He's only got 3 in Q. He's got maxed Wither already.
And those ward kills are actually even more deadly for TBD than you would think, because their team is all built around catching and the chase potential. So clearing this out forces compLexity into a bad spot.
Mega Zero already CC'd. Blue team takes down Baron. Nash for Loudermortis pops the ulti. Do they have the damage they need? There comes Robert. Stuns up Loudermortis, who has no spells up to cast anyway. Flashes the wall. Wester's going to chase back. Double kill so far for Westrise. Trooper forced to run away. Has Iceborne Gauntlet, but that only lets him run. Does not pick up any kills. Westrise also chased back. But this is definitely Baron and 2 kills for TBD. Trooper jump in the wall. TBD, great fight.
Yeah, once TBD get a foothold like that in this game, there's no getting away from him. Like I said, these are all 3 very strong chasing champions, with Arthalon going damage as well. Chuper now does get the bugs in his teeth. He's going to slow down.
Iceborne Gauntlet and the kill picked up. Blade of the Ruin King helping that one from Robert X. Lee. Heaven Time getting the kill, sending his opponent away. There we go. The first inhibitor, I should say, now under siege. That's going to go down in the top lane. And there's still 10 seconds of 5v3 if they want to go for something else. They look for the mid lane, and they're going to start for it right here. Heaven Time taking up the turret. With the rest of compLexity soon to follow this one. 4 now alive.
Oh, Probably
onto Probably. He's probably going to go down, and he does. The dive back into MIA. Will they keep chasing? Loudermortis lands a stun, but he's now caught alone right here, and he's going to fall down. 2 kills now picked up, forcing the rest of compLexity back. More time for the power play. 15 seconds until Trooper's on. 5 versus 2 on the map.
That's going to be the game.
Turret going down. This could be 1-1 in the series right here. Looks like compLexity will let this one go by the hook onto Westrise. But I don't know if it's going to be enough. He's going to fall back. The Nexus goes down. It's going to be TBD tying up the semifinals 1-1.
All right, we're going to a game 3 here. I don't know if we talked enough about Arthalon during that game, by the way.
Maybe.
Because he had some beautiful cocoons to turn around both of those crucial fights. He hit the 2 of them onto Probably. One at the mid turret, which really was the turning point for their team. So definitely very well played by Arthalon, having to deal with a lot of the early ganks, having to buy so many wards for that top lane. He still was able to have a very high impact in the late game, going very heavy damage on Elise.
And that's the build that we see every once in a while by Elise players. Nian ran that in the hour-long game against TSM back at MLG. It's the, I'm going to just deal damage to everything. No, not Sunfire Cape. I'm not building a Randuin's. I'm going Sork Shoes, I'm going Haunting Guys, I'm going Void Staff. You got the Riley's Crystal Scepter at the end there. I mean, just killing things. And you saw him chunk people down from tanks to squishies. Had an incredible impact that game. 4, 2, and 10, 11,000 gold. Had low minion kills. Almost got out CS by Heaven Time, but picked up champions for his gold, and he did it really, really well.
So glad that we did get to see the Westrise Akali in action. Yeah. Because it was exactly what I was expecting. He was able to get out of very tricky spots with his overextension, going deep into the enemy minion waves, and then he was also able to go for some very deep turret dives, which is what you like to see from him.
Even though a couple of them got turned around. 8, 4, and 5. Definitely positive. Like the one on Probably was like, I'm going to run at your shot. Oh, that was a shuriken.
So he's a player that will not get scared to continually go in, though. If he goes in and you kill him, he'll still come in the next time. Whether that's, not learning from your mistakes, or whether it's just the courage to keep on playing aggressive and having faith in your style.
Now, it worked out this time, of course. So TBD tying it up 1-1. Now, guys, let's send it over to Jat and Riv for a breakdown of that game, the clutch TBD plays.
Thank you very much, Freak. And a very clutch game indeed. We were saying it's something they had to do coming into this game. Obviously, the best of 3 series, this was their lifeline.
Yeah, and I mean, Kobe and I both said they needed to make a lot of adjustments coming into this game, and they kind of did, even from just the picks and bans. Westrise in particular, we always talk about him kind of having an exotic champion pool because he doesn't pick what other people do. Talon was a little bit far off the deep end for the first game, but this one in the next game with Akali is right back to his tried and true champion, and he definitely did a lot of work that game.
You can really see what like a main champion looks like. You can consider it for yourself. It's that champion you took from 1 to 30, and Westrice has been doing that for seasons on Akali. You can check the highlight reels. So for him to get that and still be able to do it was pretty awesome to see, but it definitely helped as well. Arthalon on that mid Elise that we don't see too very much of, really pulling through for the team.
Yeah, Westrice took it not only from 1 to 30, but from 1 to pro, and he's kind of just tried to stay there now and try to get back to it because he's in the challenger scene. And as well, Arthalon, we talk about his versatility as a player, being able to first pick that Elise, and then everyone's thinking, all right, it's an Elise jungle or top, maybe a support. And it's like, oh, actually, he's taking it mid. But the game actually did start turning during one of the dragon fights where Nasus, kind of an objective-focused jungler, just managed to flash into a wall and smite steal. It was actually, and then there was the team fight afterwards that really made a big impact.
Yeah, let's actually get this clip up on your screen. Westrice showing that he can really get some kills in that last second before the death mark goes off.
Yeah, so let's just roll this clip at full speed to really see what happens. Of course, Heaven Time gets the dragon, and then this almost forces compLexity into a fight. They wanted to fight anyway. Mega Zero didn't land a clean elastic slingshot in, and Westrice really just went off as best as he could, tries to kill as many people as possible as the death mark is ticking, so he knew how long he had. But then the rest of TBD really showed their team fight and mechanical prowess throughout this rest of this fight. Arthalon landing the stuns properly, Robert X. Lee sticking around just long enough to make sure Chuper couldn't kill him, and this is kind of what swung them into a bit of a driver's seat in this game. And then even the fights later on, they were still mechanically playing very well and almost outplaying the giant AoE Amumu that compLexity was bringing.
And we've actually seen that from both teams, as Jat and I were talking, times that they don't tunnel in for kills that were like, they could have gotten that, but that's something that that team would have done the last split. Both of these teams are adapting very quickly. The champion pools, like you said, quite exotic. We've seen Prowley pull out Annie in the splits in the LCS, now coming out with a little bit more, maybe even his Ziggs that he likes to play. These guys have one final match in this semifinals.
And it's strange too, because we got to remember, these are the two teams that played in the final of the Challenger tournament over at MLG. So they're actually very evenly matched, which is why it was so surprising in the first game where compLexity just rolled over them.
Yep.
And it was a pretty solid bounce back by To Be Determined, being able to just go back to their, you want to say like tried and true champions, as weird as their composition ended up being, but that's exactly what they did. And they kind of managed to find their comfort in this matchup. And I think that that style, I don't know if it works twice as they're going into the game 3. Like, can you actually win with that twice in a row? I feel like Mega Zero will have a counter for Akali. Obviously, the Renekton was banned out, but swapping sides again, I think, might give compLexity a bit of an edge. And it's hard to do that first pick Elise kind of fake out more than once and still have it work.
Well, trying to hit home, get that comfort feel is what these players are going to be trying to do going into game 3. But as the opposing teams, they're going to be trying to throw that off kilter, choose and pick the champions out. Who's going to have really the better chance at that with the size of their champion pools?
Yeah, so right now, the size of the champion pools, I actually feel like goes to Be Determined, but I don't think that gives them an advantage in the next pick ban phase, only because they've kind of showed what their favorite thing was, and that's back to the Westrice Akali. So even though they do have a fairly diverse champion pool, I almost feel like Prawley and what he's going to be able to bring to the table with how well he played in game 1 might let them come out on top in game 2, just because they kind of saw the curveball that got thrown at them here, and I don't think To Be Determined has another one, especially since they didn't bring it out in game 1. That generally tells you that teams don't have multiple strange strategies.
All right, well, the table's been cleaned off. The slate is 1-1, which means the next match